the new team reporter. I know all you big Sean Cody, Max Brown fans out there. Don't worry, they'll be back next week. Keely's going to be a part of this show. We're expanding it. You can see new set, and we've got ourselves a new head football coach. Welcome, Lincoln Riley. This is your show.
Yeah, this is great. Welcome, huh? It's awesome to be here. Thank you.
Yep, this is the official head coach's show, and you are the head coach, and spring football begins. But you've been here. I was doing the math. It's something like 100 days now. So presidents always talk about what they want to do the first 100 days in office. How is your first 100 days as the USC football head coach?
I will find out pretty quickly. I will find out. It's been a blast. It really has. It's been fun. Getting to know everybody, I think getting settled into Southern California, where the people, both I think involved with the university and outside of the university, have been so great to us, to our families, to all the new staff and new people that have come in. So that part has been tremendous. And then, building the program, for the roster, the facilities. You really, when you come in the position we did, you really try to pull back the layers and peel back the layers on every part of this program and try to figure out what's going on and happening at an elite level. And those that are, let's keep building that. And the things that aren't, we've got to get them to an elite level quickly. And so it's been a lot to do, but honestly, it's been a lot of fun. It really has. The buy-in from the administration, the players, the staff has been so good. And I think we've made a lot of progress in a short amount of time.
There's only so much you can learn from winter workouts. What have you learned so far, and what are you hoping to learn about this team in spring?
We're eager. We're very eager. We're still learning what it takes to win, what that looks like. That was a big reason why I think that, as you see, as we put together the staff, there was, we got some of the top guys, some elite coaches and people that are very elite in their lines of work. But the one thing there was really two things. We wanted people, one, that were dying to be at USC, and we wanted people that have won, people that have experienced it, people that know what it looks like. So then when we try to transfer this over to our players and our team and we build this, we're doing it with a lot of people that know what that's like. We're not having to teach the staff, per se, maybe what it feels like to be a part of a championship program. It's kind of all of us pouring that into our players, and our players are eager. We've gotten some, a cool combination of players that have been here that are excited to see this become what it can and should be again. And then some new players that certainly want to be a part of that change and wanted to be part of this university and football program. So it's a very eager group that I think will improve quickly.
You're listening to Lincoln Riley on Trojans Live, the head USC football coach, and spring football starts tomorrow officially in terms of one of the 15 practices that you get this time of year. What do you hope to gain from these practices? How much can you implement schemes this time of year? How much do you want to just see your personnel move around for the first time? How much is it individual technique? What are the goals?
Oh, man, we've got to take advantage of each and every one. For this, it's about this team reaching its potential. And for us right now, we cannot waste a day. Every single practice is important. Every single walkthrough, everything that you do when you're a champion matters. And our guys are learning that. And with only having 15 opportunities to get on the field with them before summer hits, we can't waste one. And you made all the different points, whether it's scheme, whether it's effort, whether it's physicality, whatever it is, it's all got to improve. It's all got to take steps. So it's a chance for us to get out there, to start to establish that, and then we've got to grow every single individual day, 1 through 15.
You mentioned putting together the coaching staff. What have you seen so far from them during this offseason?
It's been a fun staff. It has. The guys, I think, have really come together quickly. I've been impressed with just kind of the synergy already. That's, as you're sitting back and trying to build the best staff that you can, that's something that you try to predict as much as you can, but I don't know that you ever know exactly what's going to happen until you put people, in a meeting room together and in different situations together. But again, I think we kept the main things. And when you get people that, one, want to be at a place, and two, know what winning looks like, that's you're going to have a lot of very similar characteristics and people that are after the same thing. And I believe that's what we have in our staff.
Certainly a headline for many of the fans listening and watching out there is the new quarterback in Caleb Williams. You've had a chance to work with him before. Why is he a good fit for your offense?
Well, we thought he would just make sense in this situation. I don't think there's any doubt. We felt like the combination of him and Miller Moss would give us really a great start there in the quarterback room, and been really impressed with how those guys have handled things up to this point. Caleb obviously has some experience within our system, our terminology, our way of doing things, our way of coaching the position that certainly helps, and he has some good playing experience as well. So, again, though, at the end of the day, whether it's a staff member, whether it's Caleb, whether it's a Shane Lee, whether it's any of these guys, they still had to fit their criteria. And at the end of the day, Caleb really wanted to be at USC, and this is where he's at, and certainly glad that he's here with us, and certainly think he'll be a big part of this team going forward.
You went after the transfer portal hard. Is that something where coming into spring camp you feel like you've kind of hit all the spots you want to, or are you going to evaluate spring and see what needs to go going forward?
Oh, we'll definitely evaluate. I mean, there's no question about it. There'll continue to be a lot of movement. The way we're positioned right now, we will take a large number of transfers again after spring. I mean, that's just kind of where our roster's at. We've got a lot of flexibility at this point, and I think we've got a product as evident by some of the quality guys that came in here in this first cycle. We've got a place that a lot of people are excited about playing football and going to school at, and but I love the roster that we've built so far and excited about the flexibility that we have after.
In terms of what you inherited, how much film do you watch of the personnel that was here, or how much do you not want that in your head and want to sort of judge them as you see them on the practice field?
We got to see a lot of these guys in person when we first got here the week before the Cal game, and so that was very helpful. We studied a little bit, but I'm not – those are different times, different circumstances, different conditions, so didn't put a whole lot of stock into it. We haven't sat there and poured through a bunch of last year's USC film. We've tried to get an idea of what we had, but yeah, more of it for, I think, everybody in the program has not been, well, it was done like this before and we're doing it like this now. It's not that attitude. It's whatever done before, good, bad, in between, doesn't matter anymore. It's about this day forward, and we want every player in this program to feel the same way.
Given the unique construction of this specific roster, do you worry about chemistry of the team, or does that help you kind of, from a culture standpoint, kind of start fresh?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say worry, but I think we would be foolish to not identify that that's one of the challenges for us right now. That's one of the things that we're going to have. I've told the team this. They've heard me say it multiple times. This is going to be, in a lot of ways, maybe the most unique roster in the history of USC football. When you think about how it'll all come together by the time we kick off in September. And so our ability to galvanize together as a staff, as a program, the locker room, will be a huge factor in ultimately what this team can accomplish.
Why is Alex Grinch then the perfect complement to you? You bring him in as your DC. Obviously you're in charge as the head coach, but also of the offense. Why is he a good complement to you to help you execute that vision?
And we've worked really well together for the last 3 years. I think we complement each other in a lot of ways. He does an outstanding job with not just the scheme of our guys and coaching our safeties, but also I think just the mentality of our group. And I think we're very much aligned in kind of our beliefs in building a program, our beliefs in continuing to improve and to take next steps. And I think also you get some of the added experience of we've done this together at a different place, and not to sit there and pretend like we were perfect. There's things that we've learned that now I think starting over here that we're able to implement that I think are battle tested, and time tested. I don't feel like that we're, grasping for things that we haven't done or experienced or been through together. And so to have somebody in obviously such a key position on your staff that you have that kind of rapport with, I think is very important.
Before you came to Southern California, there was USC, the idea. Now, as Jordan said, the 100 days, there's USC, the reality. How do the two ideas compare to what you know now?
It's a journey to go where we all want this to go. And I'll say this, it's every day you wake up, man, we've got to do this, 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 and this. And honestly, each day the list is a little bit longer than the day. But the potential of what this place can be, the direction of where we're headed, I think is undoubtedly there. I have zero doubts of that.
It is a journey. Are you a patient person, though?
To a point.
I mean, it can be a long road to success. Do you set markers along the way? How do you gauge success as you look through spring football and then the summers and the winter workouts behind you? How do you gauge success along the way?
I think within the walls, the way our players work, the way that they respond to the different challenges we put in front of them, the way how accountable they are, you'll know. I mean, and when that comes, then the results that everybody wants will follow pretty quickly behind that. But you don't. It's it's the whole deal. Is it the chicken or the egg first, right? And I mean, and yeah, it's great to have some success early, and we certainly intend to. But championship teams become championship teams because they do things a different way. They do things at an elite level, and they do everything at that level because they realize everything's important. And when you do that, you give yourself the best opportunities for success. So I think within the walls, as we see more and more of that, we'll know that we're headed in the right direction.
Fans won't get a chance to see the team or the new coaching staff until the spring game. If you had to describe what this team is like to fans until they get to see them, what would you say?
We'll see you in the spring. We'll see you. No, I think they'll enjoy the eagerness of this team. They will. I haven't been on the field with them for an official practice yet, so again, I don't want to anoint too much, but I have. It's been exciting to see how hungry these guys are, and they don't understand it all yet, but their intent is there and their want to, and the things that we're putting in front of them, you can see they really are actively making a conscious effort to do those things. And if we keep that up about us, kind of that humility and that hunger to improve and to become the best that we can, then we'll start taking the steps that we need to.
That was a good ad for the spring game. April 23rd, Coliseum, noon. Get to the Coliseum and you get to watch this team. You're Los Angelino now. What's been the most fun thing you and your family that you've experienced since you moved to LA? What's your LA experience so far?
I mean, not being from here, you always hear how good the weather is. But if you're from here, you probably don't have an appreciation for how good the weather actually really is. Yeah. The occasional rare off day that comes up to be able that you can go do anything that you want to do is amazing. And just being this close to so many cool things that you want to experience, do, and probably more so for my children than myself or my wife. I mean, it's we've loved every second of it. It's like you're living in a dream world.
Tell us about our next guest, Shane Lee. We got him coming up.
Yeah, Shane, I would say this has been instrumental. You talked about those first 100 days. This is a guy that's been instrumental within our program from the day he came here. Obviously comes from a fantastic program himself. We had a lot of great talks throughout his recruitment about just kind of our vision for this place because, you're going to have to – we've got a couple of, I think, guys that were internal here that are going to be really good leaders, but we knew some of these guys that were coming in from a transfer standpoint were going to be leaders as well. And Shane's been one of those guys that's been at the forefront. And then way past that, he's got a ton of ability on the field and just have been so impressed with him and kind of his growth and his maturity and how invested he is in not just himself becoming an elite player, but also in this team winning championships and in this program in such a short amount of time. He's had a huge impact. It reminds me a lot when we brought Jalen Hurts to Oklahoma a few years ago, and we had him for 1 year, but his impact, you could feel it immediately. And Shane's had a very similar impact for this football team in the first 100 days. So been honored to have him in our program. It's going to be a lot of fun to have this guy leading the charge for our program.
Great intro for Shane Lee. He's coming up next. We thank the head coach, Lincoln Riley. He'll be on Trojans Live a couple more times this spring, and then we will see him throughout the fall in his first season as the USC football head coach. You've got to train hard to play hard. Monster Hydro contains essential electrolytes and energy you need to perform at your best. Learn more at monsterenergy.com. Monster Hydro, hard charging hydration. Shane Lee is next. You're listening to Trojans Live in the USC Trojans Media Network.